Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bahja. If this is your first time seeing my face, then hey, welcome to the channel. And if you've been here before, like always, it is such an honor and a pleasure to have you here with me. Like, I just can't believe people continue to come back to my videos and find them beneficial. Like, it literally puts the biggest smile on my face. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys so much. I'm trying to talk with my hands less, but I can't help myself. Someone commented on one of my vlogs and said something along the lines of, she normalizes my insecurities and I love her for that, or something along the lines. And it's something inside of me truly lit up, because there is so much power in owning your insecurities, and you can truly use these insecurities or these differences or things that society has deemed to be weird because it's different as a superpower. Like, you can literally leverage your insecurities. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the mindset shift that has allowed me to show up in spaces and in rooms where I might be the only one who looks like me, but still show up with so much confidence, and how I use my differences to my advantage. And I really believe that this can help you guys in professional settings, in school, or in my case, on social media. Your insecurities and your low self-esteem literally blocks you from being able to connect with other people. It blocks you from being able to take up space and truly thrive. You really block blessings and opportunities by telling yourself that you are not good enough, that you are not worthy, and that, you aren't capable. If you truly feel like you hate yourself, or you feel like people might be against you, or people might not like you, you are literally giving off that energy, and other people can feel that. Other people can feel your low energy and your low vibes, and because of that, you might repel having good connections and good conversations. And because of that, it's only going to reaffirm this belief that you have of, people don't like me. Let's talk a little bit about insecurities and where they come from, and why we have this need to be accepted by people. Just like a lot of things, low self-esteem and insecurities can stem from your childhood, and this can come from neglect, trauma, being bullied in school, being teased, comments made by older family members, being and feeling different from other kids, the way that you talk, the way that you walk. Literally anything that doesn't confine in societal norms can turn into an insecurity, because you feel like it's not normal. You feel like you look different, or you are different from everyone else, and because of that, you can't truly connect. As human beings, we have this biological need to kind of fit in or belong or be liked by others, and it's really like a survival mechanism. And because of that, we try to hide different parts of ourselves, or we water ourselves down because we want to fit in with everyone else, and this really holds us back from truly being authentic. I say this a lot, but authenticity and being true to yourself and really standing strong in your values and the things that you believe in is the most magnetic energy. Embracing our true selves, it really begins with accepting your differences and your uniqueness and being able to celebrate it. Insecurities are not necessarily a bad thing, but what makes them limiting, what makes them, a negative thing, is when it holds you back. When it holds you back from being able to take on opportunities, when it holds you back from being able to truly embrace yourself, when it holds you back from doing whatever it is that you want to do. Like, imagine you're a 70-year-old self, looking back at life and saying, oh, I missed out on all these opportunities because so-and-so made a comment. How do we accept our insecurities? You have to be willing to do the internal work. I feel like a lot of us, we want to run away from it, but if you guys have taken anything away from this channel, it is that there's no running away from the internal work. The hardest part and the first step is really admitting it to yourself, and once you do that, you can truly move forward instead of putting it under the rug and putting it under the rug and putting it under the rug. It is going to drive you insane. If it is an insecurity of yours and it's something that you can physically change, or something that is in your control, you can start taking steps. But until you admit it to yourself and you become aware of it, you can't do that. And so in order to turn these insecurities into opportunities, you have to face them. A really powerful and a really good question that you can ask yourself is, how many decisions and choices do you make to be liked by others? Like solely for the sake of others, solely for the sake of being accepted by other people. Feeling insecure about something, or, looking at yourself and tearing yourself apart, or, picking at things about yourself that you don't like, it becomes habitual. And it could stem back from something that someone said to you when you were in the 5th grade. And so when you have an understanding of where it comes from, you can be a lot more compassionate with yourself. And I'm telling you guys, no one just wakes up and decides that they hate everything about themselves. Like, have some compassion for yourself, because you truly are always doing the best that you can with what you have, even if you are tearing yourself apart. And so until you have gained that conscious awareness of, what it could be like, who you could be, the fact that you could give up these habits of tearing yourself apart, you are doing the best with what you have. You don't really know. You aren't aware of that yet. And so now that you know and you are aware, you can have a little bit of compassion with yourself, and then you can start working towards better. The next thing that you want to do is choose to accept it and focus on what you can control. Focus on what is in your control. Your self-concept and your self-image is really the only thing that limits you. It really is the only thing that holds you back from showing up as your ideal self, as the best version of yourself. Every single one of us knows who we would like to be, how we would like to show up. Literally, like, close your eyes and just imagine how you would like to show up in social situations, how you would like to show up in your career, how what you want, who you would like to be, because all of that is within you. And so the way that you view yourself, the things that you think about yourself and feel about yourself, is exactly what you are going to experience in life. It is the only thing that is holding you back. The way that other people perceive you is out of your control. You cannot control it. And their perception of you is based off of their own ideas and their own beliefs, and it has absolutely nothing to do with you. Especially if you have pure intentions and you're genuinely just being yourself. The way that others perceive you is none of your business, has nothing to do with you. And yes, people can limit you because of the way that they perceive you. For example, you might be denied an opportunity because of someone's perception of who you are. But perhaps that opportunity was never meant for you to begin with. You're never going to miss out on something that is truly yours. Accepting that reality gives you the opportunity to welcome new opportunities, to welcome better opportunities, to welcome opportunities that are yours, that are aligned with you, that make sense to you. And so if you become fixated on places that you aren't welcomed, and you create this belief that, oh, I'm not welcomed anywhere, nobody really likes me, maybe there's something wrong with me, then you'll be blinded of the opportunities that are around you. You will be blinded from the spaces where you are welcomed. And so when you kind of zoom out a little bit and get that perspective, then it still really is only you that is limiting yourself again. It is your beliefs about who you are, and you are allowing yourself to be limited by some idiot's idea of who you are. And so it is so important to develop this skill, I'm going to call it a skill, of accepting and releasing. You have to really understand and accept that you cannot change anything outside of yourself. You cannot change someone else's idea, and trying to prove yourself to somebody is only going to drain your energy, because you cannot change someone's mind. That is up to them. Another thing that is really helpful is follow people that look like you. Follow people that are more like you. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with following people who are nothing like you or who look nothing like you. But if you are constantly comparing yourself to someone who literally looks nothing like you, then you're only going to feel more crappy about yourself. And so surround yourself in spaces where people who look like you are thriving, people who look like you are doing well. And you guys, this is going to sound so crazy, but doing YouTube, I felt really insecure about being a Muslim hijabi. I felt a little insecure because in the space of self-improvement and self-development and mindset and all the things that I've brought to this channel, I wasn't seeing anyone who looked like me doing it. And so I felt a little insecure because I was like, what if no one really likes it? But how I took that insecurity and I flipped it is I understood that my uniqueness, my perspective, right, is needed and it is necessary. And I'm overwhelmed with how many people who look like me or don't look like me have found my channel really helpful and have loved my content. And it's so beautiful to see that people who have different faiths or come from different parts of the world can still relate to me. You know, people who might not be able to relate to me can still understand and learn about my perspective. And that's what's allowed me to stand out in this space, is owning my differences and being able to mix it with everything else that I'm interested in and everything else that I know and create what I've created. Growing up and watching YouTube, there wasn't a lot of people who looked like me. Like when I was in probably high school, I can name 2 people who did YouTube and looked like me. And so I was consuming so many YouTubers that I could relate to in some ways, but couldn't truly and genuinely relate to because I was so different from them because of my faith, because of where I come from, because of my background. And so the reason why I felt a little bit insecure when I decided I was going to do YouTube was because that's all I've ever seen growing up. And so what helped me was following creators who look like me, even if they weren't in the same niche. You know what I mean? It was really inspiring and empowering to see people who look like me still be able to make it in these spaces. And so follow people who look like you. It will help you normalize your differences. Another thing is learning to love yourself and building trust with yourself. I am not joking. Like, the reason why I'm able to be myself and show up as confident and really like stand my ground, like, it's because I have built this trust with myself throughout these past 3-4 years of really giving myself evidence that I am capable. And by learning and growing and expanding, that has given me so much confidence within myself. That has allowed me to recognize that I am so much more than, you know, my hyperpigmentation. Like, it really made me love and appreciate myself a lot more. So it's doing hard things. It is doing hard things. It is acknowledging the small wins that you have every single day. It's stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's learning something new. That will all help you build a lot more confidence within yourself. Let's talk a little bit about how you can use your insecurities or your uniqueness or your differences as a superpower. There was this girl in my leadership class in my last semester of college, and let me tell you, this girl was something. This girl was something. She had the biggest energy I have ever seen in my life. She was so authentic. She was so real, and she was so herself, and she wasn't afraid to like take up space in the class. She was so like confident in herself, and her energy was so big that people who might not be so sure of themselves would feel a little bit threatened. It was that type of vibe, kind of like Maria from The Bachelor. If you guys watch The Bachelor, she didn't have the best time in the house because she was so authentic, she was so real, she was so herself. And a lot of us watching from home truly felt that energy, and the other women in the house truly felt threatened. But that's kind of the vibe this girl gave off. One day we were having a conversation and I was telling her about how I got my gap filled while I was in Turkey, and I don't mind telling anyone. I'm so like not embarrassed about that. I'm like, I literally tell everyone. But she had a gap as well in her teeth, and she was telling me how she was insecure about it growing up because kids teased her for it and they made fun of her for it. But something that she said that has stuck with me for so stinking long was, she said, and I quote, "I used to get made fun of for it, but now I get paid for it." And I don't know if I said this earlier, but she was a model. Of course, she was just like stunning, but she was a model, and that really stuck with me because she took something that was a source of insecurity and she turned it into something that was positive, that had impact. It's so crazy because every time I see her big, beautiful smile literally plastered on a huge wall inside of Target, I have the biggest smile on my face. Like, if y'all go to Target, you've probably seen her. It really brings a smile to my face every time I see it. So let's talk about the mindset shift that we really have to make in order to reach this level of unbothered. The things that make you different are the things that make you stand out more, and they're the things that make you a lot more memorable. And this can be extremely helpful when it comes to building a personal brand in a extremely saturated space, or being noticed at a networking event, or keeping people engaged and interested when you're giving a speech. And so instead of trying to hide every single part of yourself because you're ashamed of it or you were told it's imperfect or all of that, you can leverage that. And I'm not saying you can leverage every single insecurity, but you can definitely leverage insecurities. And that's exactly what I did when it comes to like social media and stuff. I sat down and I wrote down all the things that make me different compared to the people that were in this space. And I decided I was going to leverage that. I decided that that was going to be what made me unique. I was going to speak about my interests. Like, I felt really, this is going to sound so bad, but do not judge me, okay? I'm being real honest on here. Don't judge me. But I felt really insecure about speaking about Islam. And it's something that I love so much, and it's something that has helped me a lot during my, like, throughout my self-development journey, but I just felt really insecure about it because no one else was doing it. And I literally had to look at myself and I had to be like, are you dumb? Like, you could literally leverage that. Like, the fact that no one else is talking about it in this specific space, or of course there are people who are talking about it in this space, but not a lot of people who are talking about it in this space, that is literally an opportunity. Hello. And so if I didn't wake up to that insecurity and I didn't take that and try to make it positive, I would have never seen this opportunity in front of me. Instead, I probably would have been sitting here talking about God knows what. I don't know. Maybe I would have never even started YouTube. But it's what makes you stand out. It's what makes you unique. It's what makes you special. So get rid of this mindset that being different is bad. It's not bad. There really is no threat. Another thing you have to understand is that when you start to show up as yourself and you start to take up space and you start to not water yourself down to fit into a box or whatever, people will not like you. Not everyone is going to like you, and you have to accept that. And it's funny because even when you are watering yourself down, or you are trying to fit into the box, or you are changing yourself and hiding different parts of yourself, people are still not going to always like you. And so the only difference is on one end, you are happy and you are fulfilled and you feel confident and you feel good in yourself and you're attracting all these amazing things and people and opportunities to you. And on the other hand, you're miserable. You're cackling and you're laughing all day and pretending to be someone you're not. And then you go home and you're like, and you feel crap about yourself because you're not being true to yourself. And so which do you prefer? Which do you prefer? When you're authentic and you're true to yourself, right? Your aura is so bright and you naturally attract people who are gonna like you for you. You're not gonna be trying to fit in. You're simply going to attract people who make you feel like you belong. Something else that we really have to understand is it's not a bad thing to care about what other people think. I think a lot of times on social media, we hear a lot of, oh, I don't care what people think. But it's not a bad thing to care about what other people think. Like, I care about what you guys think, right? Like, I care about what you guys think of my videos. I care about what you guys think about me. But then it becomes bad when that becomes my only motivation to do something, or when it's the thing that keeps me back from moving towards becoming my ideal self and building my dream life. But rather than fixating on what other people think of us and letting random strangers on the internet sway our decision making, or people who might not know what they're talking about or might not know you, really mess with your decision making, you want to ask yourself whose opinion truly matters to you. When you have a clear understanding of your values and you have a clear understanding of your goals and who you would like to be and where you would like to go, you can pick and choose whose opinions matter. And it's so important to be able to use your inner compass for guidance rather than looking everywhere outside of yourself for that guidance or for that validation and for that support. When we're in social settings, we tend to get in our heads a lot and we're thinking about like, oh my goodness, am I saying things correctly? Am I talking properly? Do you think that they noticed the pimple on my forehead? And you get so in your head that you're not even present or enjoying the event. You're not present in that conversation. You're not present in what you're doing. You're not present in what you're trying to build if you're constantly thinking about your flaws or you're constantly thinking about what other people think about you. You can't truly go out there and click the record button and post the videos that you want to post if you're constantly in your head. You can't be creative. You can't use your energy to actually build something when you're constantly fixated on your flaws or how other people might perceive you. And it's so funny because when you are so focused on your flaws or the things that make you imperfect or the things that you hate about yourself, they only continue to multiply. You're only going to continue to pick yourself apart, and you're going to go down this mental spiral that would lead you to being miserable. And when you have these beliefs and these ideas about yourself, and that's the only thing that you're constantly focused on, your brain is only going to continue to find ways to validate those ideas through your experiences and in your reality. How can we truly become strong in our identities so that we are unbothered, so that we truly and genuinely are unbothered, and that when someone makes a comment, we don't really feel as triggered because we know it's not true or we know who we are? Number one is to identify your values. What is important to you? What are you and what are you not? When you make these clear, right? When you make these clear, you can navigate life standing on your values, being strong in your values, because in order for you to be authentic, you have to say no to everything that is not in alignment with you. In order for you to be authentic, you have to be okay with not fitting into certain places. And so what do you accept and what do you not accept? I had a friend, and this friend used to try and make me be something I wasn't. And because I knew I wasn't that person, I kept telling her, like, she kept trying to push me into this box and push me to be like her and do the things that she was doing. But I knew that that wasn't me. And so I had to literally leave that friendship because I was so fed up with her trying to push me into this box that I knew I wasn't going to fit into. And so when you know your values and you choose to be strong in them, you're not going to be for everyone. Truly and genuinely, you are not going to be for everyone. And when you make them clear, you might realize that the people that you are around right now or the environments that you are in right now are not for you. And that is completely okay. You have to remove those things from your life, and you have to remove yourself from those environments in order to find the ones that are truly in alignment with you and who you are. And so it sucks and it is scary to have to be on your own, but it is a huge and necessary part of growth. And that is why a lot of times when God wants something good for us, we tend to lose a lot of our friends. We might lose a job. We might lose the things that God needs us to shed in order for us to experience the next blessing that He has for us. And so yes, it is hard. It is difficult, but it is what needs to be done in order for you to get the life that you want. And then 2 is to have clear goals. Where would you like to go? Who would you like to be? We have to have a clear vision and have clear goals so that you can preserve your energy and use it to build it. Use it to build up that vision, to create that life for yourself, rather than spending it on situations that aren't even that serious, that aren't even that deep. I know that I knew that I wanted to do YouTube. And so if I let 1 or 2 comments, right, get to me, I would never be where I am today. But I had a strong vision. I knew exactly who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I had to stay strong in that vision. I had to keep that at the top of my mind. I really did, because if I didn't, I would have lost myself. I would have lost what I wanted to do because of the hate that I got. I didn't have a very easy journey on social media. I did not. I got hated on, I got dragged, but that vision always pulled me. And then last but not least is to simply stop taking things personal. Truly just stop taking things so damn personally. If someone doesn't like you, who cares? Who cares? Do you like everyone? Do you like everyone? I'm sure you don't, because I don't like everyone. And it's not even necessarily that I have anything against people. We just don't align. So instead of seeing it as, oh, this person doesn't like me and that person doesn't like me, and taking it personally, see it as our values just don't align, and that is okay. If you understood how beliefs work and how people end up being the people that they are today, you will have a lot more compassion with people, but also you won't be so bitter when someone doesn't like you because of your identity, because of who you are. I think it's so shallow for people to not like me because of my faith, or not like me because of how I look. And it's so shallow and embarrassing that I feel bad for them. I literally pity them. And you know what? It's their loss. If someone doesn't like you, it is their loss. Rejection can be so hard and scary for us, but what do they say? Rejection is just redirection. And you have to see it from that perspective. You have to accept that reality. That doesn't say anything about your worthiness. And so if you connect your worth to whether or not people like you, you are literally just going to move through life, just constantly seek validation. And the more that you seek that and you feel needy for people to like you, the more people are not going to like you. And like I said, like I've been hated on. People who don't even know me have criticized my character and who I am without even knowing me. And I didn't feel the need to defend myself because I knew through years of getting to know myself and building a relationship with myself that I am not that person that they say I am. And honestly, my character is going to speak for itself every single time. And so it takes time to get to that point, but you really have to do the inner work. You really have to do the inner work. You really have to pay attention to what triggers you. As we grow and as we continue to experience life, we're just going to continue to learn new things about ourselves, and we'll only continue to discover more about ourselves. And so you don't have to figure it all out now. Like there's no such thing as figuring all out now, because the more that you experience life, the more that you have new experiences and meet new people and be put in different situations and get different opportunities, you will start to uncover more and more and more and more about yourself. Later down the road, you might have a new insecurity, but like that's just life. And so the point is to just build this awareness and to start building a relationship with yourself and start to work towards being a little bit unbothered and really just having strong values, strong goals, and knowing where you're headed and who you are, and then being strong in that. That's really all it takes. That's really all you have to do, and build that trust with yourself by doing the hard things and showing up for yourself every single day, even when you don't feel like it. But yeah, that is all that I have for you guys today. Shout out to whoever inspired me to do this video. I really hope you guys found it beneficial. I really hope that you guys found it helpful. I'm sending you guys all my love. I love you so much, and I hope to see you next time.